For decades, if you brought up the topic of flying saucers, you'd pretty much get laughed out of the room. It was fringe stuff. But something's changing. The whole conversation is shifting. The term UFO has officially been upgraded to UAP, that's unidentified anomalous phenomena, and it signals this huge move away from sensationalism and toward a serious scientific hunt for answers.
And this isn't just a vibe shift. A 2023 NASA report really puts a fine point on it, highlighting that we are moving way beyond just grainy photos and eyewitness stories. We're talking about a whole new era of data analysis, with AI, artificial intelligence, basically becoming the lead detective on what might be humanity's greatest mystery.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at this new hunt for UAPs. Then, how AI is getting in on the action. We'll dive into some pretty wild theories that go way beyond outer space. We'll even investigate some of Earth's own mysterious spots. And finally, we'll give you a way to sort through all of this, to separate the signal from the noise.
So what does this new hunt actually look like? Well, for one, governments are finally taking it seriously. They're not just brushing it off anymore. In 2022, the Pentagon actually set up a formal office just for this, called the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO for short.
And get this, AARO isn't just looking up at the sky. Their official job is to investigate anomalies in the air, in space, and, maybe most importantly, underwater. This officially brings what are called unidentified submersible objects, or USOs, into the fold. It's a huge deal. An official acknowledgement that these mysteries aren't just happening above our heads. Okay, but think about it. Investigating the air, space, and the sea, that is a monumental data problem. It's like trying to find a needle in a cosmic haystack. And that's exactly where AI comes in. It's the best tool we've got for a job this big. So here's how it works in practice. There's this system called CTAP, Custom Target Analysis Protocol. It recently chewed through 600 hours of sky recordings. Step 1, the AI scans every single pixel of footage. Step 2, it flags anything that looks off, a weird light, a strange pattern. But here's the magic. Step 3, it cross-checks those flags against everything we know is out there, weather balloons, satellites, stars, you name it, to filter out all the junk and leave only the truly weird stuff.
And this same kind of filtering is happening in astronomy too. They're hunting for something called technosignatures. Now what's that? It's basically any measurable sign that points to technology. We're not talking about looking for little green men in spaceships. We're talking about looking for their radio signals, their atmospheric pollution, their city lights. You get the idea. And you won't believe this, it's already working. In 2023, a machine learning algorithm went back and looked at a bunch of old radio telescope data, and it found eight previously missed signals of interest coming from the direction of 5 nearby stars. Now hold on, they haven't been confirmed yet, could just be a microwave oven somewhere, but it proves that AI can spot things that we humans have been missing for years. Okay, but what if we're looking in the wrong place entirely? What if the source of all this isn't from some distant star? This is where the theories start to get really, really interesting, pushing way past the classic alien idea and asking if maybe, just maybe, the intelligence behind all this is a lot closer to home. All right, let's put two big ideas side by side. On one hand, you've got the classic extraterrestrial hypothesis, aliens from another planet. We all know that one. But on the other, there's this newer, kind of mind-bending idea, the extraterrestrial hypothesis. The theory here is that these visitors aren't crossing space, they're crossing time. They're not aliens, they're us, from the future.
And there's a biological anthropologist, Dr. Michael P. Masters, who really champions this idea. He says, look, we know humans exist. We know our technology is going to be way more advanced in the future. So what's the simplest explanation? It's us. He points out that the classic gray alien look, the big head, small jaw, is pretty much in line with how scientists think humans will evolve. It's a wild thought, right? But wait, it gets even weirder. There's another theory that takes this a step further. The interdimensional hypothesis. This suggests UAPs aren't from our space or our time, but from another reality altogether. A parallel universe, maybe. This could explain why they seem to defy physics. They're not breaking our laws because they don't belong here. A legendary researcher named Jacques Vallée was a huge proponent of this. He made this fascinating connection to folklore, suggesting that the beings we call aliens today might be the same entities our ancestors called fairies, jinn, or elves. And that idea ties right into more spiritual interpretations. People are going back and looking at ancient texts like the Book of Enoch and asking, what if these aren't just myths?
What if the Watchers coming down from the heavens, or Ezekiel's famous wheel in the sky? What if these are actual historical accounts of encounters with non-human intelligence? Whether you call them angels, demons, or aliens, the descriptions are pretty compelling.
Okay, so we've been out in space, the future, other dimensions. Let's bring it all back home. Because some of the most bizarre anomalies aren't in the sky at all. They're hidden right here on our own planet, in the deepest oceans and the most remote ice caps. Case in point, the Baltic Sea anomaly. In 2011, a dive team was scanning the seafloor with sonar, and they found this massive, perfectly circular object. I mean, it looked so much like a crashed ship. Some people even said it looked like the Millennium Falcon, that it just begged the question, what on earth is that thing? So naturally, a huge debate kicked off. On the anomalous side, you have this weirdly perfect circular shape. The team's reports that their electronic equipment went haywire when they were directly over it, and what looks like a 300-meter skid mark behind it. But on the other side, geologists have a pretty solid natural explanation for every single one of those things. The consensus now leans toward it being a really unique, but totally natural rock formation left over from the Ice Age.
And, we saw a very similar story play out in Antarctica with a Martian meteorite. Back in 1996, NASA made this massive announcement that a meteorite from Mars seemed to have fossilized bacteria inside it. I mean, the world went nuts. This was it, proof of life on Mars. But as time went on and more scientists looked at it, they figured out that plain old non-biological geological processes could create those exact same shapes. It's a really great lesson in how science works. Extraordinary claims need extraordinary proof, and that proof has to hold up. All right, so we've covered AI, time travelers, interdimensional beings, sunken mysteries. How in the world are we supposed to make sense of all this? This last part is all about giving you a mental toolkit, a framework for thinking about this stuff, so you can separate what's real from what's just, well, pure speculation. And honestly, I think this table right here is the most important thing to take away from all this. Let's break it down. In the verified column, we have cold, hard facts. The government has an office, AARO, that investigates UAPs. Fact. AI is a powerful tool for this. Fact. We found bizarre life under the ice in Antarctica. Fact. Then, in the middle, we have plausible. This is the stuff that's intriguing but unproven. Those 8 radio signals AI found? Plausible. The Navy pilot reports of super-fast objects underwater? Plausible. And then on the right, speculative. This is where we get theories like time-traveling humans or interdimensional angels. Fascinating ideas for sure, but right now there's just no hard evidence to back them up.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that we have to be really careful to separate the documented mysteries, the things we can prove are happening, even if we can't explain them, from the unconfirmed theories about what's behind them. It's all about striking that perfect balance, right? You want to be a skeptic, but you also want to keep an open mind, just in case that truly extraordinary evidence finally shows up. And that really brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. After sorting through all the data, after filtering out the noise, what mystery do you think is the most compelling? What's the thread that you want to pull on? Because one thing is for sure, the hunt is really just getting started.